The morning you wake up makes me feel so great. The smell of roasting coffee kicks the entire day. 7 hours of sleep has made my mind so fresh. Being thankful to help another needy heart for their health.
Check the time, there's time to kill. Let's have a walk and just enjoy and chill. I know some doctors treat so fast, but I'm not just one doctor. I'll be your greatest friend for the patient, for the family, and for the community. I'm a family doctor that's here to stay. I value life, both mine and others, so come join the ride of a family medicine experience. For every home, a heart to guide.
Game, start na tayo. Ay, mali. Ito pala. Hi guys, good day. This is Doc Chris, your online family doctor, making medicine easy for you to have a healthy life. Sorry, wala akong post. I think 2 days na. Naging busy. Father stuff, ganun or what. Kasi may pusa tayo din na lalaga natin. Diba? Anyway, ito na. We have a content. Pag-usapan natin, kung ano to, importante natin malaman, pangit ng gigler, importante natin malaman the value of CPR and knowing basic life support, di ba? As a doctor, it's important that we conduct basic life support training, lalo na for civic groups, kung sakaling magkaroon man ng problema sa bahay or sa inyong barangay or sa lokal, may alam ka paano gawin ang basic life support. Now, alam naman natin kung ano yung nangyari recently from the 2 Ateneo basketball players na nalunod sa may Dipakulaw, no? I think that's Baler. And sadly, 2 casualties ang nangyari doon. And it was mentioned down. May exclusive na interview with the team leader about ng MDR-RMO. And napanood ko to kanina, And I noticed some details na kailangan din ma-discuss natin, no? Especially as a part of a family doctor and a person, kahit a doctor in per se, and even a person na has training from basic life support and advanced cardiorespiratory, or ACLS training. Kasi we are required, okay, to have those types of trainings kapag nandun kami sa clinic and even in the hospital. Okay? So, similar, dapat meron din silang ample training and ample knowledge in tackling those situations, diba? In that situation. Specifically, MDR-RMO ang involved dito sa rescue team na to. So, pakinggan natin yung video. Kunuot natin to sa ABS-CBN News. Hopefully, hindi tayo ma-cut or ma-copyright, whatever. No?
Naitawag po sa amin yung insidente, sir, 3:04 p.m. na po ng hapon.
Okay, so 3:04 p.m. ng hapon. So, that's, I think, medyo makulimlim na yung araw. So, or that depends kasi El Nino ngayon, diba? Pero malakas daw ang alon sa mga areas natin doon.
June 8 po yun. And then, sinabi po sa amin nung dispatch operation po namin na meron nga pong nalulunod daw po dun sa location po na yun.
Sino pong tumawag sa inyo?
Okay. Judging by dun sa statement na binigay ni Ma'am Angel Librero, okay, I think she is the team leader. It's also important that we provide a detailed or even a formal report that can be released sa press. Okay? Whether it should be read or nabasa, basta meron tayong firm na detail, okay, or event log kung ano yung nangyari. So, it's important that you provide the exact time, which nabanggit naman ni Ma'am Angel, the location, maganda sana provide niya kung anong location, and then what was the name of the resort, pero siguro it's part of the confidentiality kaya na-redact yun, and kung ilan ang mga individuals involved. That's important, especially in group crisis, no? Mga ganito. Kasi kailangan mo i-account yung number of individuals dun sa scenario na yan.
Staff po ng resort po.
Okay. And then after,
Okay, it's
And
good
then
na
after
binanggit
po
nilang
nun,
resort.
siguro po,
Kasi maybe
6 minutes po,
dito
nakarating po
privacy.
kami doon sa resort po, mga 3:10 na po yun. Kasi yung travel pa po namin din, pagkuha po namin ng gamit. So,
Okay, you notice na sinabi na 6 minutes and then provide the exact time. That's important kasi you have to find the turnaround time kung kailan tinawag and then at the same time, kailan sila nagkaroon ng action at preempt na dumating sa resort. Kasi time is of the essence in that situation. Lalo na kung naghahanap sila ng missing person.
pagdating po namin doon, lahat po naman ng player tsaka yung staff po nila, together po nung coach po nila, nandun naman po sa shore na
Okay. Na-mention niya lahat ng players and coach. Now, that scenario kasi dapat you have to provide a detailed number of individuals that are involved. Specifically, if this is a resort, kailangan well-documented, well-logged yung mga guest mo, di ba? So, as much as possible sana, it would have been more detailed kung ilan members ng team were involved. Would it be 20? There are 2 coaches, 16 coaches, pero that's not the exact number, di ba? Kailangan at least sana ma-clarify din para ma-identify kung na-account nila kung ilan ang involved dito sa scenario na to. Kasi if let's say for example, lahat sila nandun, ilan ba yung total na lahat? Out of the 20, 18. Okay, 18 are there are 2 that were not accounted. Dapat mas maganda yung ganong formal na presentation ng reporting. Specifically if you are providing press statements. Hindi yung tipong very vague lang yung pinrovide mo na information, 'di ba?
nakikita po namin talaga na naghahanap din naman po. And then po, nag-interview rin po ako dun sa mga kasamahan po nila kasi wala po kami kaalam-alam dun sa identity po.
Okay, that's also important. Na provide the asking the interview initially, they can even do that while on the phone. Okay, especially nung time na yon, kung sino yung mga yung details na ng missing persons, they could do that on the fly even in the first 6 minutes. Lalo na if let's say for example meron silang command post, but I'm not sure if MDR RMO have a command post na ginagawa na yan real time para ma-feedback agad yung yung response nila sa ground, lalo na kung mga team na nila na dineploy. Okay? Para lang din makapag-provide ng ample plan immediately kasi syempre time is of the essence kasi may nalunod na tao, so dapat mabilisan dapat ito. So that interview should have been done at the moment na tinawag, okay, tinawag sa kanila during the time na nagkaroon na ng emergency. Okay, they need to ask the number of the individuals who are missing and then the names. Hindi yung pagdating pa lang tatanungin nila kung sino yung nawawala, 'di ba?
Po nung nalunod. And then po, ang sinabi po nila sa amin ay wala pong damit.
Okay. Now, that is, well, I'm not sure why but wala yung damit. Kasi you're in the beach. Most likely, there are people na walang damit. Okay? Or either walang pantaas or ganun. That's not the best description na pwede mong tanungin. You could even ask if, let's say, for example, it's a Filipino, if it's a foreign individual that is missing, di ba? Or what's the height, Caucasian, anong complexion, ganun. Yun yung mga dapat importanteng details na provide na nawawala siya. Hindi yung tipong malalaman mo na lang on the ground. Okay? Dapat malalaman na yan while the people are moving.
And then po, kaya po pinapunta ko na po yung isang responder ko para tumulong po doon sa naghahanap po doon sa tubig. Tapos naman po yung iba ko pong kasama, nagpuput patrol po and then nag-drone patrol din po sila. Ayun po.
Okay. I appreciate na nagkaroon sila ng spread out ng manpower because it's important. Again, time is of the essence. 6 minutes pagdating nila doon, nag-interview pa lang sila but other individuals are already on the ground by foot, sabi nga, by means of a drone search and even by I think on the sea, no? Seafront, may mga canoe or boat na nag-aabang or naghahanap dun sa perimeter. Another thing na dapat na na-include nila din is they have to secure the perimeter ng beachfront. Para importanteng dun sa area lang ng beach, okay, dun sila mag-start magkaroon ng sweep, kumbaga, di ba?
Po.
Ilan po kayo lahat na rooms po?
So yung una pong punta po namin, 6 po kami. Nagtawag lang po ako ng backup.
Now, 6 sila during that time. Another thing na importante malaman dito, especially if you are as a civic person or a normal person na nakakita or na may nawawala. Okay, it's important na wag lulusong agad sa tubig. And again, your safety is your top priority kasi let's say matataas ang alon. Don't even bother going ahead sa shoreline kasi it might also provide harm sa'yo. Baka ikaw pa malagdag dun sa pagkalunod. Okay, so importante, your safety will matter first, di ba? So if their safety is secured no sa kanilang part, either may lifeboat sila or meron silang vest, better sila yung mag-conduct ng search rather than you. So sa kanila, initially 6 sila. So medyo yun I think enough naman yun to have an initial search. Pero they are second responders.
So kaya
Gumagalaw na lahat.
Opo, lahat po yun gumagalaw, sir. Meron din po kaming ATV na nagpapatrol po.
And then after that po, kailan nyo lang na-find out na dalawa pala?
Nung nakuha na po namin si Butterbone niya, sir,
So there's an ATV, no? Take yun, an ATV is an all-terrain vehicle that either it was placed within the shoreline. And the shoreline is also important to secure kasi alam mo kung nandun yung victim, madali mo siya mahanap. Okay? It's important also to secure the area kung saan malapit sa sa dagat. Kasi baka mamaya nandun umalon. Pero make sure ma-identify mo kung let's say papunta yung alon papunta sa shoreline, makikita mo agad. Okay, which is good naman na sinecure nila yun.
may bumulong po sa akin na may isa pa daw po na kwan. Yun po, saka ko po sinabi ulit dun sa kasamahan ko po na meron pang isa. So bumalik po ulit siya dun sa tubig.
Okay, there comes the first problem na napansin ko. Kasi initially, during the first time, it's important that they have secured the number of individuals involved in this event or scenario. Kasi on the first explanation ni Ma'am Angel, isa pa lang ang alam nilang nawawala. So in the first scenario dapat, they need to account the number of individuals that are present in the area. No? Kung let's say na-account nila, we have 15 guests. There are only 13 guests. So alam mong may dalawang nawawala. So either you have to call them, if they're really missing, count them as a missing person. So dito, medyo nagkaroon tayo ng lapses dito kasi nalaman na lang nila na may nawawala pang isa. Eventually, at the latter stage, nung nakita nila yung unang casualty, di ba?
Yun po, nagsigawan na po sila na there's more, sabi po nila.
So, more likely, hopefully hindi naman nangyari na nagkaroon sila ng complacency na naglaylaw na nung nahanap nila yung first casualty. Pero I think mukhang ganoon naman yung nangyari. Okay, pero we're not sure kung ano yun. Kung ganoon talaga na nagkaroon sila ng decrease in the awareness nung nalaman na lang na meron pang isa pang casualty, saka nag-heighten ulit yung yung response nila. So dapat alert pa rin sila until the very end, until ma-count nila yung number of individuals na involved sa scenario na to. So I think that part, hindi na-account yung total number of casualties ahead. Okay?
Parang hindi rin po nila alam na may isa pa po. Kasi kung sinabi po nila na dalawa, alam po namin na dalawa.
Now, the problem there is if they ask, okay, the guest list ng resort kung ilan ang individuals na involved doon. I'm not sure kung magkakaibang resort ba sila or magkakaibang beachfront sila nag-check-in, pero it's important that at the very first na-identify nila kung ilan ba yung number of individuals involved dun sa so-called team building. Okay? Para na-account nila kung nandun ba talaga sila lahat. Okay? Hindi yung malalaman na lang nila na ay may isa pa pala at the very end. And eventually, yun nga, yung I think that's the foreigner na last na nakita.
Kasi isa lang po yung sinasabi, yung Nigerian. Yun po, 5 to 7 minutes po, nakita na rin po yung katawan po ni Adili.
Anong state muna ng katawan ni
So yun, 5 to 7 minutes, nakita na yung second casualty. Medyo that's a bit long, okay? Pero if I guess, guessing by the statement, parang naggulat na lang sila na may isa pa palang nawawala. So it's important again, the importance of taking note of the number of people involved in this scenario.
Waterbourne na nakita niyo?
Nung nakakuha po siya nung responder ko po, wala naman po siyang pabigat sa paa. Yung sinasabi po nilang weight sa paa, wala po. And then po yung katawan po niya, malinis po. Naka-short lang po talaga siya.
Okay. Dito sa situation na to, it's always important to identify, well, hindi naman yung pabigat. Kasi yun kasi lumalabas sa news na meron daw pabigat sa paa, sa kamay. As a responder, you should always check first for signs of cyanosis or asphyxia or anything that nakikita mo, presence of drowning, or syempre, kung ano ba yung present state ng body ngayon, ng victim. If let's say cyanotic, no breathing, okay, kailangan siyang dalhin agad sa shoreline, okay, for immediate basic life support, the CPR, no? Hindi yung wala siyang suot na pantaas, ganun, or anything else na nakikita sa katawan. It's important na makita kung meron bang signs of loss of oxygen or hindi na breathing, ganun, or no response during nakita mo yung pasyente. Yun dapat yung unang binanggit niya rather than addressing certain rumors on social media, di ba?
May upper
Wala po.
Wala siyang
Short lang po, opo.
Oo.
And then yung sinasabi po nilang tali na nanggaling po sa paa ni Butterbonia, yun po yung tali po ng salbabida po. Doon po kasi nakatali yung salbabida. Mahaba po kasi yung tali ng salbabida. Galing po yun sa resort. Yung
Okay.
salbabida po nila.
Okay. And then after nun, ma'am, saan niyo na dinala si Butterbonia?
Dito po sa Aurora Memorial Hospital po.
Yung dalawa.
Opo, yung dalawa.
So they were brought to the nearest hospital is in Aurora for the immediate response. So recap lang natin. If ever you see a person that is unconscious, either drowning or nawalan or cardiorespiratory distress, first you have to look at the person. If let's say kung nasaan siya. If the scene is safe, punta ka, lumapit ka doon. Check the person if meron kang signs of life. Okay, you could tap the shoulders, tatanungin mo. Okay, hey, are you okay? Hey, are you okay? Tinatanong yun. Madalas kasing alamin, kung hindi siya nag-respond sa tap mo, okay, or sa salita mo sa sides ng tenga, okay, wala pa rin, no response. Check for breathing. If there's no breathing, ganun, wala din. And also signs of pulse kung wala. Kailangan medyo alisto ka dyan. Provide, okay, CPR. Specifically, chest compressions. Pinaka-importante pala is chest compressions. Nowadays, kahit hindi ka sanay magbigay ng mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, ang pinaka-importante may provide mo, chest compressions. Okay, chest compressions. Dapat yung una. Then, if you have someone near the shore, tell them to call 911, get an AED, put the person or bring the person to a dry place. Kasi baka mamaya kailangan mo ng AED para mag-defibrillate. Pero make sure na hindi siya basa. Importante yon. Pero yung pinakamahalagang kailangan mong gawin as the first responder is to provide high quality chest compressions.
Opo.
Pero naunang ilabas si...
Nauna pong itinakbo po si Butterbonia, sir.
Oo. Nag-CPR ba kayo din sa shore? Paano?
Okay, this is good kasi kung let's say nakuha siya agad, okay, siya yung inunang pinunta para lang hindi na hinintay yung isa para dumiretso agad kasi it's important na the time was already ticking for the person. No? Dapat maging alisto sila, ma-provide nila ang proper airway, ma-secure airway, circulation, again also wait. and breathing. Okay, ma-secure yung breathing.
Po, anong ginawa ninyo?
Nung pagkakuha po kay Butterbound niya, sir, nag-CPR po yung kasamahan nila. And then, pina-stop ko po yung CPR kasi ang gusto ko pong mangyari, habang sini-CPR po siya, gusto ko po i-transport na po si Butterbound niya sa pinakamalapit pong ospital.
Okay, dito yung medyo nagkaroon ako ng problem and understanding kung which is first, sabi niya, yung mga malapit nakapunta sa kanya, nag-provide na ng CPR. That is correct. Tama yun. Okay, provide high quality CPR to the victim despite wala kang experience, provide mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Importante yung CPR na kailangan gawin is do the chest compressions. Okay? Pero ang naging questionable ako dito kasi sinabi niya, pinastop ko yung CPR.
Which is, kaya naman po namin bigyan na po ng support na po si Butterbound niya sa pinakamalapit pong ospital. Which is, kaya mangyari, habang sini-CPR po siya, gusto ko po i-transport na po si Butterbound niya sa pinakamalapit pong ospital. Which nag-CPR po yung kasamahan nila.
Okay,
And
sabi
then,
niya?
pina-stop ko po yung CPR kasi ang gusto ko pong mangyari, habang sini-CPR po siya, gusto ko po
Okay, pinastop ko. I'm not blaming anything here pero I'm not sure. We need to clarify that kasi when you see an unconscious person, dapat tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang delivery of basic life support, including, high quality chest compressions. Chest compressions lang, kahit sana yun muna, clear the airways, chest compressions. Kung meron tayong way of providing breathing or clearing the airways na apparatus, better. Pero kung wala, just provide your chest compressions and assess, look for any signs of pulse para ma-resolve at ma-maintain yung circulation ng katawan ng tao, lalo na nung sa nalulunod. Okay, huwag niyong i-stop. Kahit let's say, i-transfer mo siya sa stretcher, sa hardboard, immediately pag transfer mo, provide high quality chest compressions. Continue your CPR hanggang may rescue team na dumating. Okay? Especially kapag mga ganitong situation na unconscious, huwag kayong maghihinto hanggat meron tayong makakakita or health personnel will arrive. In this situation, sila yung mga rescue team natin. So don't let anything stop you in providing high quality CPR. Kahit nilagay mo siya sa ambulance, tuloy pa rin yan. Lalo na kung wala ka pang walang pulse. Unless ma-assess ng isang doctor na nakakailang cycle na kayo ng CPR, then you have to identify if there is a need to continue or ano pa yung mga other measures na kailangan natin gawin. Take note, kapag nagta-transfer na, mabilis naman yan from ambulance to hospital ER. Kung kailangan na mag-provide ng better airway access, magagawa na yan sa emergency room. So tuloy mo lang dapat yung chest compressions. Hindi mo dapat ipapastop.
I-transport na po si Butterbound niya sa pinakamalapit pong ospital. Which is, kaya naman po namin bigyan na po ng paunang lunas po si Butterbound niya habang tinatransfer po siya. Kasi malapit lang naman po yung hospital sa amin.
Okay. Nabanggit naman niya, magbibigay siya ng tamang paunang lunas. Pero it's important to include din, lalo na sa mga ganitong statements, that what are those detailed na paunang lunas na provide mo. Take note, they are second responders. So kung second responders yan, mas may equipment sila to provide adequate life support sa kanila. Provide of IV, either intubation kit kung kaya nila mag-provide ng intubation, bag mask if kailangan magkaroon ng respiration assistance, tapos continuous yung CPR or chest compressions while in transit. Yun yung kailangan ma-maintain nila until makarating sila sa emergency room. So, dun sana kay Ma'am Angel, dapat kinompleto niya yung details about ano ba yung ginawa nilang paunang lunas para makarating sila sa emergency room. Dito kasi medyo vague na yung binanggit dito.
Around 10 to 15 minutes po, nandun na po.
Okay, so yun, 10 to 15 minutes yung dating doon. So I'm not quite sure kung ano ba yung 10 to 15 minutes na yon, kung ano ba yung nangyari between that. So take note, a cycle can last at least 90 seconds or 60 seconds para lang tuloy-tuloy yung chest compression. Magre-reassess sila. So it's important na meron tayong documentation ng ongoing na cardiopulmonary resuscitation, kasi nilalagyan ng recorder in the personnel of the EMT, no, emergency medical team. So dapat nakalag yun.
Dili naman, ganun din.
Ganon din, sir.
So, dalawang sasakyan ng MDR na yung...
Yung pangalawa, sir, ang pinagsakyan na po kay Adili po ay yung sasakyan na po ng PNP po.
Okay, yun na po yun.
Okay.
Opo, yun na po yun.
Yun, hindi ka, and the problem here is yung hindi na account kasi kung ilan yung casualty, no, dalawa. The second one is sinakay na sa PNP patrol. And I'm not sure if that PNP patrol, okay, has the equipment to provide immediate cardiopulmonary resuscitation if kailangan. Okay? And take note, kahit walang pulse yan or wala siyang breathing, you still provide basic kahit chest compression initially para ma-check mo, kasi time is still of the essence. Malay mo, ma-provide pa rin natin. 'Di ba? Kung ma-resume yung circulation, magkaroon tayo ng assessment ahead, immediately, habang in transit. Importante pa rin yun. The problem there is, kung dun sa PNP patrol, drowning ito, you don't have either O2, you don't have immediate medication or IV medication that can help you. So 15 minutes yung travel, and without other efforts that can be hindi ko alam kung paano masasabi kung kaya bang ma-push through yung scenario na yun. Pero I guess the limitations are there in that situation.
Nagdala.
Ano yung assessment nyo dun sa dalawang biktima na nakita nyo? Talagang wala na bang signs of life?
Unstable na po kasi nung nakita po namin talaga yung dalawang patient po.
Pag
Kaya
sinabi na
ang
unstable,
Okay. Tinanong kasi dito if ano ba yung current situation or current status ng mga dalawang individual. Sabi niya, unstable. Now, as siguro a rescue team, it's always important to provide an objective way of saying ano yung unstable. Does the patient has steady pulse? Meron siyang signs of pulse pero wala siyang BP noong una lang na-receive, or wala siyang breathing. Okay, pwede kasi mangyari yon. Para masabi mo meron pa ring meron pa ring chance na pwede pa rin i-push through yung conduction of the emergency rescue team. Kasi kung sabihin natin walang breathing, wala din heart rate, wala din pressure, blood pressure, okay, dun na yung mapaprime mo, alam mo kung very urgent na talaga yung situation na to at kailangan na dalhin immediately. So yung term na ginamit na unstable, kasi sa amin, kapag resident doctor kami, ginamit namin na ay doc, unstable yung patient. Papagalitan kami, anong ibig sabihin ng unstable? Okay, the word unstable is very it does not provide me enough evidence kung ano ba yung exact definition ng word unstable for a person that is in emergent or imminent threat na magkakaroon tayo ng possible casualty, 'di ba? Dapat medyo detalyado naman sana yung provide nilang information about this.
Ang ginawa ko po, pinatransfer ko na po kaagad para mas ma-examine po dun kaagad sa ospital yung dalawa pong pasyente.
Okay. Now the problem here is if let's say the full examination would be conducted lang sa hospital, that's 10 to 15 minutes. That's too long. Okay, dapat second responder, you are also trained to assess the scenario of the patient. You have to check or assess the initial status ng pasyente na na-receive mo sa first responders. So that is, I think that would be a lapse on the second responder. Kung hindi nila na-receive yung endorsement or nakita yung current person, kasi survey the patient's current status. Identify mo kung ano ba yung nawawala sa kanya. Airway, wala ba siya? Breathing, wala siya. Circulation, problema pa niya. So dapat at that first instance, aware dapat siya kung ano yung mga na nakukulangan siya. Okay? Hindi yung hihintayin mo pang dumating sa hospital para dun i-assess. Okay? I think sa mga responders naman na nakikita namin whenever we were triage or nandun kami sa triage area ng emergency room, they have a checklist. Okay? But most of the time kasi pag nakikita namin, pag tinatanong namin sila, they don't provide us a full detail. They just provide us a paper. Okay? Kung ano yung nakita nila na findings, no breathing, tapos ganun, walang heart rate, ganun. The details, they don't fully provide us enough understanding, like i-verbalize nila kung ano yung assessment na nakita sa pasyente. Wala kami nakikitang, or madala kami nakakita ng ganung second responder. Pero meron pa rin naman. Okay, in this case, dapat they have provided us an ample information about the status ng patient while in transit. Kasi they are the second responders.
Pag-rescue niyo po, magkahiwalay ba silang matagpuan? Paano po? Or halos
Ah,
lang sila
paano
sa
ko ba i-explain? Kasi sir, kumbaga po ito yung gitna po nung sinasabi po nilang huling nakita po nila si Adili, yung sinasabi po nga nilang Nigeria.
Okay, this scenario is siguro more on the detail kung saan nila nahanap. Okay, that part medyo sa akin hindi ko na yan masyadong itatouch. Ang pinaka-main goal ko naman dito sa discussion na to is what should be the responsibility of an individual who is a second responder, a first responder, and syempre dun sa last would be from the hospital standpoint. Being an individual, let's say, guest ka rin sa isang resort, may nakita kang unconscious or nalulunod, okay? Bring them, okay? Magtulungan kayo, dalhin nyo siya sa dry area, stable, patag yung area, na pwedeng kang mag-conduct ng CPR, okay? If you are trained, okay? If you have a training on BLS, okay, volunteer yourself to do or conduct the CPR. Kahit high quality chest compressions muna. And then if there are other individuals who are with you that is also trained, okay, bring them along. Ask for their assistance. Okay? Be the team leader. You could also ask the individual na may kasama ka na, call the staff, okay, and call 911, okay, while you do CPR. That is the civic responsibility of an individual. Kapag nakita nyo kasi, even the American Heart Association states CPR is a civic duty. Ibig sabihin, it's not just a medical skill. It is a responsibility of every individual who sees a person that is unconscious, okay, to conduct, okay, quality cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Kasi a life is at stake dyan. Okay, kailangan natin mag-provide din ng tulong sa kanila. Okay? Another thing na kailangan maintindihan is CPR is a human responsibility, not just a medical skill. Lahat tayo kayang gawin ito. Okay? You could teach someone to conduct the CPR. If let's say, for example, you have a broken shoulder and you're a medical personnel, may kakilala ka, you instruct them correctly para gawin yung high quality chest compressions. That is one way, okay, to help each and every one of us conduct a quality cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Kahit chest compressions lang, sabi ko nga, kasi it's already the priority, okay, high quality chest compressions. Kasi pag ni-stop mo yon while, okay, ongoing ang emergency natin, there is a decrease in probability na you might save an individual. Pero siyempre dito sa situation na to, nangyari. We cannot really tell if the person might have survived or the casualty would still be accounted to us too, diba? Pero yun nga, based kasi dun sa this exclusive interview with the respondents, medyo sa akin, if you are a respondent, it's always important that you log everything that happened during that situation and be objective and be detailed para lang din you don't miss anything. Okay, we're not blaming fingers, pero yun nga, it's important that we understand kung ano ba what transpired. Okay, what transpired during the scenario, during the conduct of the rescue, especially if this is highly publicized type of story of drowning. Specifically, prominent kasi yung school that is involved. And well, yun lang naman yung gusto kong ma-provide sa inyo. again, CPR is a civic duty and it is a human responsibility. Hopefully, if you are in that situation na nagkaroon kayo ng emergency, siguro sa inyong lugar, please provide, ample assistance to everyone. Kahit kung, let's say, you're not well equipped, okay? Help each other para makatulong ng isang tao, okay? Again, if you have any comments about this video or this discussion, drop lang sa comment section, give me a like or subscribe to the channel. This is Thursday in the madaling araw na. Tulog na yung asawa ko. And again, maganda kasing pag-usapan ito kasi lahat tayo dapat meron tayong equal responsibility sa mga ganitong situation. And yun, we're really sad for the thing that happened, okay? Especially dun sa nangyari. And we really hope that justice will be served, especially kung meron man foul play, okay? And it's important that we take action, okay? The right way, okay? Alam ko ginawa nila to in good faith para masave ang isang tao, but the way of proper conducting as an individual that can be trained, okay, that has been trained, should have been proper. Maganda nga sana meron tayong mandatory training for every adult individual that is, okay, let's say, able to have a mandatory, let's say, community CPR or first aid responder, specifically sa mga situations na may mass casualties, vehicle accidents. Dapat meron tayong mga own training capabilities on basic life support. Okay? Again, this is Doc Chris, your online family doctor, making medicine easy for you to have a healthy life. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.
The morning wake up makes me feel so great.